They say that falling in love is wonderful. It's wonderful, so they say. And with the moon up above, it's wonderful. It's wonderful, so they tell me. I can't recall who said it. I know I never read it. I only know they tell me that love is grand. And to hold a girl in your arms is wonderful, wonderful in every way. So they say. Rumors fly and they often bring a doubt, but you've come to the right place to find out. Everything that you've heard is really so. I've been there once or twice, and I should know. You'll find that falling in love is wonderful. It's wonderful, as they say. And with the moon up above, it's wonderful. It's wonderful, as they tell you. You'll leave your house some morning, and without any warning, you're stopping people, shouting that love is grand. And to hold a girl in your arms is wonderful, wonderful in every way, as they say.
Broke every glass in the house.
Did I really?
Son of a gun. That early in the morning?
Listen,
You sounded great.
Yeah, we were just singing in Manor La Mancha last night, you know, with not a seat in the house. What a
That's
nice
terrific.
welcome you get here.
But the official opening is tonight, right?
Well,
at the North Shore Music.
when the critics come, right? But
all right. You had a good opening last night.
oh
though.
boy, it was exciting.
Is that
terrific.
taxing, John, that role?
That's a tough role. It really is. It's tough physically, you know, getting up and down on those knees all the time, playing those three characters. The
We were talking about what we did when we were kids. What do you remember what you did?
Oh
Did
gosh,
you dig up
yes.
your folks' backyard?
Yeah, and of course, you know, back in 4th of July just going by. You remember, we're lucky to be alive in those days.
Well, the cherry bombs.
Oh,
and the-
cherry
yeah.
bombs under cans,
Tin
and they wouldn't
cans.
work, and they'd come out.
Yeah.
And then we sat, I remember we took the little lady fingers and took them apart. You remember?
Yeah.
I spent days taking those little things apart from the thing. Then I had a punk, you know, kids
Oh,
don't know
I
what a
remember
punk is.
punks.
Yeah.
The things that keep light so you don't have to light a match. And I just sit there, we go bang, bang, you just keep throwing them out, you know?
Well, remember, you used to throw the sparklers. I hope the kids aren't listening now. Get
Yes.
bad ideas.
Yeah,
You used
that
to
is a
throw
bad
the
idea.
sparklers in the air, you know.
Sure.
They'd look like shooting stars.
We
coming
made our
down.
own, you know,
Yeah.
they had their own rockets, sort of, in the backyard. They made the chute, you know, and
Yeah, when you
somebody's
think
name.
about it, John, it's
Oh,
a wonder
boy.
we survived.
And
Ah,
caps, you
I'm
put them
glad
on
they-
the
Oh,
street,
I'm
throw
so,
rocks
too.
on the caps, and
Yeah.
remember?
All the
Anything
kids-
to make noise.
Of course, the kids, you know, they like to say, well, look, I'm brave. Watch me
Yeah.
hold this firecracker and let it go off. you know.
Wrong. So many kids had to be taken to the hospital. Oh, I'm glad that's over with. But that was bad.
They were great big 5 inches, too, and the things.
But were you going around the neighborhood singing when you were a kid?
Well, I sang once because my dad was chasing me or something to beat me or something. So they said, there's that young Raitt kid yelling again.
You didn't have desires as a kid to do what you do?
No, I sang. My dad was a YMCA secretary, and he sang YK.
Didn't you live down in raised in Alhambra?
No, I was
someplace?
raised in Fullerton.
Fullerton,
By
well,
Disneyland.
yeah,
Born in
Southern
Santa Ana,
California.
raised in Fullerton. My dad had a Y camp up in the San Bernardino Mountains, and every summer, brother played the piano, and so I was sort of given the job as leading singing. So I got over my inhibitions. They say, hey, John, sing the verse, we'll sing the chorus. But I was interested in athletics. I wasn't even ever
Yeah.
thinking about I'd go in this business.
Well, when did you make your decision to go on the stage?
Well, I was hoping to try out for the Olympics in 1940. That sort of dates me a little bit, you know. And, of course, Helsinki was bombed. There were no Olympics. So I took a job over in
What
What
event?
sport?
Yeah,
in shot put.
shot put.
I held this
Wow.
California State High School shot put record for 7 years. And then I took a job over as a junior YMCA secretary, and all I was doing was singing for my lunch and dinner for Kiwanis and Lions and Rotary clubs.
Yeah.
And one of the fellas in the Y said, "Hey, you're a pretty good-looking guy and got a good voice. Why don't you try out?" Showed me this. I went down, auditioned for the chorus of Civic Light Opera there in Los Angeles. That was almost 40 years ago.
Son of a gun. And then Broadway. I remember when John Raitt,
Yeah.
we're contemporaries, but when he hit Broadway, boy, was it like we're talking
Was
about
Carousel
sparklers.
first?
Carousel's first.
Yeah,
I
that
had-
was the big one, huh?
I had come to replace Alfred Drake in Oklahoma, but they had just received the rights from Frank Molnar, who was the playwright for Lilium, which they adapted, of course, Carousel from. And they said, "Hey, this guy looked like maybe a guy who could play the lead in the musical. Let's send him out to Chicago and get him experienced a little bit and then bring a new personality in." Because I think there hardly was a person in the whole company of Carousel had been on Broadway before. And nobody starred in those days. You know, everybody thinks that Alfred Drake starred in Oklahoma and John Raitt starred in Carousel. Just Rodgers and Hammerstein started
Yeah.
in those shows, rightly so.
But the public hadn't heard of John Raitt before. All of a sudden, he's on Broadway, you know.
I know.
I figured, well, you ought to practice someplace before you get there.
Yeah, well, was the Civic
was in
Light Opera
Chicago.
your training?
Well, I started, and I started as a concert singer, really. I got a lot of young artists auditions, sang, concerts at UCLA and University of Redlands, where I went. But then this was my first
Do you
big
have a
break.
favorite place that you really
I
sound the
don't
best?
think. People have asked me that. It's great to sing, say, in the Mormon Tabernacle. That's one of the
Yeah.
greatest places you can sing.
Well, I was thinking the Hollywood Bowl, maybe.
Well, the Hollywood Bowl's got some dead spots in it. I mean,
It does?
Yeah.
Nobody
One of my
ever talks
great
about
stories about the
Yeah.
time when John Charles Thomas was performing and that's the old baritone of our day, performing in the Barber Seville, and the late S.M. Berman, the playwright, was sitting next to Ruben Mamoulian, who directed us in Carousel. And after a while, they were sitting in one of those dead spots. They said, and Sam leaned over to Ruben Mamoulian and said, "Ruben, this is the most confidential performance of opera I've ever heard."
Hey, tell Eileen that we all make so many mistakes if you're speaking before the
Oh,
public.
you
Man, I
know,
made more than my share.
Spoonerisms and things.
Yeah,
You
tell
get
her
into. And I was doing Kismet, and this is where he's playing Hodge the beggar, and his daughter, of course, now is going to make it because she's marrying the Caliph, and I'm calling him Most Holy of Holies. And there was a line that said, "Oh, Prince of true believers." And I did a triple. I said, "Oh, Prince of true believers." I left it right there. How can you? It's like
just
hard
keep
to
on
say
going.
that, you know?
You could tell the band.
Oh, yeah, if you
always
don't
got
let
a
the
fair-
audience know, it's amazing. If you just keep talking.
They probably thought you
Even
were speaking
friends
another
will say,
language.
"Did you notice what I did?" "Oh, no, I don't know what that was." You just keep. And the greatest one when you sing is, of course, you start coughing if you forget something, on the stage.
Your
Always.
daughter is.
You go,
Yeah, we talked about John, but there's another member of your
Yeah,
family that's
Bonnie
making a lot of
Raitt.
talk.
oh, gosh, she's doing so great. She just finished her new album for Warner Brothers Records, which is just, I guess she's very excited about it. Had Peter Ashley was a great
Son of a
producer to
gun.
do it. And she says, "Hey, Dad, I'm doing great." She says, I go out to dinner. Fathers will be a little jealous when they say, "Hey, Dad, I'm making more money than you are. Dinner's on me."
She picks up the tab. Oh, that's really
That's nice.
that's equality now.
Isn't that good?
That's really
But we have a mutual kind of admiration society because every time I open, we're Scottish descent. And when I was playing Scotland first time over there in the British Isles and doing that old Sunday night the Palladium show, which all of us did in the 60s, I'd get a wire from various parts in Scotland saying, "Keep the name flying." The Raitts from Aberdeen and Devonshire, and so now that's our trademark. If I ever get an opening night, it says, "Keep the name flying."
But now do your trails cross at any time?
Oh, yeah. One time I was doing one of my tours, I think probably with Shenandoah, and we were going from Rochester to Syracuse, and Bonnie was to be in Rochester right after we were there. And I left in the same hotel. I'll never forget this. I left a jacket and a pair of slacks behind the door, as you do all the time sometime you're traveling. So I called the hotel, said, "Tell Bonnie to bring, when she comes to have breakfast with me tomorrow morning in Syracuse, bring my jacket."
God.
You know, you mentioned Shenandoah. Eileen, I think that I just love. There's a song in that one. If you're a father of daughters, it made tears come to my eyes. The Pickers are coming.
Yeah.
Remember
A
that?
lot of people didn't get that song, I know.
Oh,
I thought
loved
it's
it.
a fun song.
Well, you have to have daughters.
Yeah,
know
I
what
guess
that
that's
Yeah,
probably
Here
right.
I
come the
guess.
Pickers.
Here comes the Pickers, right.
Yeah, there's songs mothers relate to.
I really have had a lot of fun with that show. I just did it for 5 weeks at the old Paper Mill Playhouse, the early part of the year. And I think it's done much better outside of,
Yeah.
the old adage that the Luntz gave me, the opera Lunt Fontaine. They said, "John, if you want longevity in the theater, keep off both coasts and go where the people are.
Yeah.
John, speaking of that, could you have done La Mancha 15 years ago? Would you have been
Yeah,
right?
probably. I don't think I would have done it.
No?
You know, the first time Hal Prince called me in 1970, he said, John, I want you to do the National Company of Zorba. I said, I know the play. I saw that play on Broadway. He says, I don't want to play those. He says, no, John, you'd be great for it, you know. So I wound up now playing all the dirty old men parts, you know.
You're taking Anthony Quinn's roles.
But these are marvelous. You know, playing this Mad Night, this is a tremendous role because I think the show has grown since '65. Evident. I think the fact that after Watergate and after the Vietnam, that we need the impossible dream.
Yeah.
People go, you need
The
something.
ideal.
Guy to stand up there and say, you know, hope to add some measure of grace to the world.
That's right.
You know, who's mad? Perhaps to be practical is mad, and maddest of all to see life as it is, not as it ought to be.
No, you're
I think
right.
it was good when Kylie brought it back to
Oh,
Broadway.
my gosh,
That was-
and he's making $1 million. You know, he did so great here. I was rather reluctant. I said, gee, Chris, so many people may have seen it, but maybe they haven't seen me do it, so we all do it a little bit different.
That's right.
Hey there, you with the stars in your eyes. Love never made a fool of you. You used to be too wise. Hey there, you on that high-flying cloud. Though she won't throw a crumb to you, you think someday she'll come to you. Better forget her with her nose in the air. She has you dancing on a string. Break it, she won't care. Won't you take this advice I hand you like a brother? Or are you not seeing things too clear? Are you too much in love to hear? Is it all going in one